The fear factor: why you think no one else can do it right. Many business owners find themselves nodding along to a familiar refrain, a quiet whisper that often becomes a loud shout in their minds. No one else can do it right. This isn't some fleeting thought. It's a deeply ingrained belief, a powerful fear that grips the heart of countless entrepreneurs who started their businesses with passion. You pour your entire being into your craft, meticulously honing every detail, and naturally, you believe your personal touch is the secret sauce that makes everything work. This conviction, while born from dedication and a genuine desire for excellence, often becomes the invisible wall that traps you within the very confines of your own business. It feels like a protective shield, ensuring uncompromising quality, but in reality, it often prevents crucial growth and, ironically, compromises the very quality you strive to maintain by stretching you too thin. This pervasive fear ultimately holds you hostage in an enterprise that was originally meant to set you truly free. Where does this potent belief truly originate, forming such a strong hold on your entrepreneurial spirit? For most, it's rooted in the very genesis of their entrepreneurial journey, when they first dared to venture out on their own. You started your business because you were exceptional at something: a master baker, a brilliant coder, a visionary consultant who delivered unparalleled results. Your initial success was a direct result of your unique skill, your unparalleled dedication, and your personal, uncompromising standards for every single detail. This intimate connection between your talent and your company's early triumphs creates a powerful, almost unbreakable bond that is hard to shake. You naturally became the benchmark, the gold standard against which all other efforts were measured, and understandably, others often fell short of your specific vision. This personal success, therefore, becomes a double-edged sword, affirming your indispensable role while simultaneously making it impossible to step away. This is precisely where the technician's trap becomes most insidious, manifesting itself as this debilitating fear factor in your daily operations. You are not just the owner, you are the primary doer, the ultimate problem solver, and the final arbiter of quality for nearly everything that happens. Every task, from the critical strategic decisions to the most mundane administrative duties, feels like it requires your direct intervention or meticulous oversight to be executed correctly. You find yourself micromanaging, you double-check every detail, and you frequently swoop in to fix things, not necessarily because you enjoy the extra work, but because the alternative, allowing someone else to potentially falter, feels like an unbearable risk. This constant direct involvement reinforces the belief that your business is merely an extension of yourself, rather than an independent entity capable of thriving without your constant physical presence. It quickly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, cementing your role as the inescapable bottleneck. This intense need for personal control, fueled by the fear that no one else can do it right, creates a potent illusion that can be incredibly deceptive. You believe that by keeping every essential function under your direct purview, you are maintaining an iron grip on quality, efficiency, and ultimately customer satisfaction. The reality, however, is often quite the opposite, as your personal bandwidth inevitably becomes the ultimate limiting factor for everything. While you might prevent minor missteps by personally intervening in every situation, you simultaneously stifle innovation, delay critical progress, and exhaust yourself beyond measure, leading to inevitable burnout. Your meticulous oversight, intended to perfect every detail, actually creates a fragile system that is entirely dependent on your finite time, and energy. This illusion of control, though comforting in the short term, ultimately prevents your business from developing the resilience and adaptability it desperately needs to grow, leaving it vulnerable whenever you are not physically present. Consider the true, often hidden, cost of this self-imposed indispensability, which extends far beyond your immediate workload. It's not just the extra hours you consistently log or the countless missed family dinners and personal commitments, it's the invisible toll on your creativity, your strategic thinking, and your very entrepreneurial spirit. When you are constantly bogged down in the minutiae of day-to-day operations, you lose the vital capacity to envision the future, to innovate new solutions, or to identify promising new opportunities for growth. Your business effectively becomes a treadmill, perpetually running but never truly advancing beyond your personal output and individual efforts. Employee morale can also suffer significantly as team members feel untrusted, unempowered, or simply unable to take initiative, leading to a cycle of dependency where they genuinely do wait for your constant direction. This hidden cost impacts not only your personal well-being, but also the long-term health, sustainability, and scalability of your entire enterprise. Now, let's gently challenge this deeply held premise. Is it truly that no one else can do it right? Or is it merely that no one else can do it exactly like you? There's a subtle but profoundly crucial distinction here, one that holds the key to unlocking your business's true, unbridled potential. Your unique style, your specific flair, might indeed be inimitable, a signature element that initially attracted your most loyal customers. However, that doesn't mean the result or the core value proposition cannot be achieved by others to a consistently high standard, meeting customer expectations. Often, what we perceive as right is simply our way, which, while effective and proven, isn't necessarily the only effective way to accomplish a given task. This fear often blinds us to the immense potential of others, making us assume their approach will inherently be inferior simply because it deviates from our established methods. It's time to question whether your definition of right is truly serving the long-term health and scalability of your business, or if it's simply serving your ego and a fear of letting go. The critical shift required in your mindset is moving your focus from achieving personal perfection to establishing systemic consistency throughout your entire operation. Your goal should no longer be for every single task to bear your unique, irreplaceable fingerprint, a standard that is inherently unsustainable and limiting. Instead, aim for every task, regardless of who performs it, to produce a predictable, high-quality outcome every single time, meeting a clearly defined and measurable standard. This is precisely where the transformative power of well-designed systems truly shines, elevating your business beyond individual dependency and personal limits. A robust system isn't about replicating you in a robotic fashion. It's about consistently replicating results reliably and efficiently. It's about creating a clear, documented pathway that guides anyone capable of following instructions to achieve the desired standard, ensuring unwavering quality without demanding your constant, direct intervention. This fundamental change in perspective is what allows your business to truly grow and scale. Think of a robust system as the ultimate antidote to your pervasive fear factor, providing immediate relief and long-term stability. It provides the essential framework, the clear guardrails, and the step-by-step instructions that empower others to perform tasks competently and confidently, even those tasks you once considered exclusively yours. When a process is clearly documented, when the expectations are explicit and measurable, and when the necessary tools and resources are readily available, the margin for human error significantly shrinks. This inherent clarity demystifies complex tasks, making them accessible and manageable for a wider range of individuals within your team. It transforms the daunting prospect of someone else doing it wrong into the reassuring reality of someone else doing it right by consistently following the established system. This crucial shift is not about lowering your standards. Rather, it's about codifying them so effectively that they can be consistently met by anyone dedicated to the process. Overcoming this deeply ingrained fear doesn't require a sudden, dramatic overhaul of your entire business all at once, which can feel overwhelming. Instead, begin by identifying one small, repetitive task that currently consumes your precious time and attention, a task you might currently believe only you can perform adequately. It might be something seemingly minor, like handling specific customer inquiries, managing a particular aspect of inventory, preparing a routine social media post, or even drafting a standard weekly report. Choose something relatively low stakes to start, something where the consequences of a minor deviation aren't catastrophic or irreversible, minimizing your perceived risk. This initial, manageable step allows you to experiment with systemization in a controlled environment, building your confidence and tangibly demonstrating the concrete benefits of delegating effectively through a clear, documented process. Building effective systems, and by extension, building trust in your team and the overall process, is an iterative journey that requires patience and persistence. Your first documented system might not be perfect right out of the gate, and the initial attempts by others to follow it might reveal areas for immediate improvement. This isn't a failure to be discouraged by. It's incredibly valuable feedback that should be embraced as an opportunity for refinement. Embrace these moments as chances to refine your system, making it even clearer, more robust, and more foolproof with each iteration. Each successful delegation, each task completed correctly by someone else using your well-designed system, chips away at your deep-seated fear, gradually replacing doubt with a growing sense of empowerment and confidence. With every iteration, your belief in the system's ability to consistently deliver desired results will strengthen, allowing you to gradually release more control and focus on bigger picture items. Remember the core concept of building a franchise prototype for your business? This isn't just about potential future expansion or the eventual sale of your company. It's fundamentally about overcoming the fear factor that paralyzes so many dedicated business owners. A true franchise prototype is meticulously designed to function reliably and consistently, producing identical, high-quality results regardless of who is operating it or where it's located. If your business hinges entirely on your personal touch, your unique judgment, and your constant intervention, it is inherently unfranchisable and, more importantly, severely limited in its potential for independent growth or future sale. To truly create an asset that can thrive autonomously, you must systematically dismantle the limiting belief that only you can do it right. This profound mindset shift is not merely a strategic business decision. It represents a fundamental personal transformation, enabling you to build something truly resilient, scalable, and valuable beyond your individual efforts. Imagine the profound sense of liberation and accomplishment that comes from knowing your business can operate effectively, efficiently, and profitably, even when you step away for an extended period, perhaps for a vacation or personal pursuit. This isn't about escaping your responsibilities as a diligent owner. It's about elevating them to a higher, more strategic level of engagement. By consciously overcoming the fear that holds you captive in the exhausting day-to-day grind, you reclaim the invaluable mental space and physical time needed to truly work on your business, rather than perpetually in it. You can then channel your entrepreneurial energy into strategic growth initiatives, groundbreaking innovation, exploring new market expansions, or developing exciting new products and services, rather than constantly putting out fires or micromanaging routine tasks. This newfound freedom is the ultimate transformative reward for confronting your deepest fears and courageously embracing the immense power of well-designed, repeatable systems, ultimately turning your business burden into a genuine, self-sustaining asset. Hiring for systems, not just skills. Finding your future business stars. Many business owners find themselves trapped in a cycle where they believe they are the only ones who can truly do the job right. This mindset often extends into their hiring process, leading them to search for a clone of themselves, someone with the exact same skills, experience, and intuitive understanding of the business. They look for the superstar who can step in and immediately replicate their personal touch, fearing that any deviation will compromise quality or customer satisfaction. This approach, while seemingly logical, actually creates a bottleneck, ensuring that the business remains entirely dependent on individual heroes rather than a robust, self-sustaining structure. It keeps the owner forever tethered to the day-to-day operations, unable to truly step back and lead. The truth is, when your business is built on solid systems, your hiring strategy can undergo a profound transformation. You no longer need to find another you or even a superstar in the traditional sense. Instead, your focus shifts to identifying individuals who thrive within a structured environment and can consistently execute documented processes. This isn't about diminishing the value of talent. It's about channeling that talent into a framework that guarantees predictable, high-quality results every single time. Imagine the relief of knowing that the success of a task doesn't hinge on one person's innate genius, but on a clear, repeatable method that anyone competent can follow. Hiring for systems means seeking out candidates who possess specific qualities that align with a process-driven operation. It's about looking beyond just a resume full of impressive accomplishments and digging into their approach to work. Do they pay attention to detail? Can they follow instructions meticulously? Are they adaptable and willing to learn new procedures? These are the foundational traits that allow someone to seamlessly integrate into your existing systems and contribute meaningfully from day one. When you prioritize these attributes, you're not just filling a role, you're building a team that collectively strengthens your business's operational backbone. Consider coachability as a prime example of a system-friendly trait. A highly coachable individual isn't afraid to admit they don't know everything. In fact, they eagerly embrace learning your company's specific methods and protocols. They understand that while they might have prior experience, your business has its own unique way of doing things, and they are willing to adapt. This willingness to be guided through your documented systems is far more valuable than someone who insists on doing things their way. Potentially disrupting established workflows. Such an individual becomes a true asset, absorbing and executing your proven processes with enthusiasm. Another crucial quality is reliability, the consistent ability to perform tasks according to established guidelines, day in and day out. This isn't just about showing up on time. It's about consistently delivering results that meet the standards set by your systems. When every team member is reliably following the same steps, the entire operation becomes more predictable and efficient. This consistency builds trust, not only among your team, but also with your customers, who come to expect a certain level of quality and service. Reliability, therefore, is the bedrock upon which successful system execution is built. So, how do you uncover these system stars during the hiring process? Your interview questions need to evolve. Instead of just asking about past successes, delve into their process for achieving those successes. Ask behavioral questions like, tell me about a time you had to follow a very specific procedure. What was challenging about it, and how did you ensure you met every step? Or, describe a situation where you had to learn a completely new way of doing something. How did you approach it? These questions reveal their aptitude for understanding, adopting, and adhering to documented systems, giving you insight beyond mere skill sets. Emphasize the importance of processes in your company culture from the very first interaction. During the interview, clearly communicate that your business thrives on structured workflows and that adherence to these systems is key to success. This transparency helps self-select candidates who are comfortable with and even prefer a systematic approach. It also sets clear expectations, ensuring that new hires understand the operational philosophy before they even join the team. This upfront communication minimizes future misunderstandings and ensures a smoother onboarding experience for everyone involved. When you hire for systems, you're essentially building a team of capable executors who can keep the engine running smoothly, allowing you, the owner, to finally step away from the daily grind. Imagine having a team where each member understands their role within the larger operational framework, consistently producing the desired outcomes without constant supervision. This liberation means you can shift your energy from troubleshooting and micromanaging to strategic planning, innovation, and growth, the true work of an entrepreneur. It transforms your role from a doer to an architect, designing the future of your business. This approach also benefits your existing team significantly. When everyone operates within clearly defined systems, there's less ambiguity about roles and responsibilities. Team members understand what's expected of them and how their work contributes to the overall success. This clarity reduces stress, prevents misunderstandings, and fosters a more collaborative environment. It creates a level playing field where success is tied to effective system execution rather than individual heroics, promoting a sense of shared purpose and collective achievement. Ultimately, hiring for systems is a critical step in building what we call a franchise prototype. Even if you never plan to franchise, thinking this way forces you to create a business that can run independently of any single individual, including yourself. Each new hire becomes a piece of this scalable puzzle, slotting into well-defined roles within your operational blueprint. This systematic approach ensures that your business can grow, adapt, and even be sold without its value being intrinsically tied to your personal presence. It's about creating an asset, not just a job for yourself. Even your job descriptions should reflect this system-centric philosophy. Instead of just listing required skills, include phrases that highlight the importance of process adherence, attention to detail, and a willingness to learn and follow company protocols. For example, ability to meticulously follow documented procedures, or a keen eye for detail and commitment to consistent execution can attract the right kind of candidate. These subtle shifts in language signal to potential hires that your company values structure and consistency, drawing in those who naturally align with that environment. The onboarding and training phases become much more effective when you're hiring for systems. Since new hires are already predisposed to following processes, your documented training materials become incredibly powerful tools. They aren't just learning a job, they're learning your system for that job. This structured approach ensures that everyone receives the same consistent training, leading to uniform performance standards across the board. It transforms training from a chaotic, ad hoc process into a streamlined, repeatable system in itself, further solidifying your business's operational strength. Furthermore, systems are not meant to stifle creativity or innovation. Rather, they provide a stable foundation upon which both can flourish. Once employees are proficient in executing the existing systems, they are often the best people to identify areas for improvement or suggest enhancements. Empowering your team to refine and optimize these processes while still operating within the overarching framework fosters a culture of continuous improvement. They become not just followers of systems, but active participants in their evolution, making the business even more robust and efficient. By strategically hiring individuals who excel within a systematic environment, you lay the groundwork for a truly self-running company. You build a team that understands the value of consistency, embraces structured workflows, and contributes to a collective goal, rather than relying solely on individual brilliance. This fundamental shift in your hiring paradigm is one of the most powerful steps you can take towards reclaiming your time, scaling your business, and ultimately building a legacy that thrives well beyond your constant physical presence. It's about finding people who will become your future business stars, not by being mini-yous, but by being stellar system implementers. Training as a system, teaching people to fish so you don't have to. Many business owners find themselves in a peculiar bind when it comes to training new hires, or even teaching existing team members new tasks. There's this unspoken fear, a nagging voice that whispers, "No one can do it quite like I can." This belief often leads to a chaotic, on-the-fly approach to training, where instructions are mumbled quickly, key steps are forgotten, and the new person is left to sink or swim. We've all been there, either as the overwhelmed new employee trying to piece together fragmented guidance, or as the frustrated owner wondering why the task wasn't completed exactly as envisioned. This informal, inconsistent method isn't just inefficient. It's a huge drain on your time and a major roadblock to your business's growth. It keeps you tethered to every single operation, reinforcing the very trap you're trying to escape. The technician's trap doesn't just apply to doing the core work of your business. It extends deeply into how you train. If you're the only one who truly understands every nuance of every process, then you inherently become the sole instructor, the bottleneck through which all knowledge must flow. This means every new hire, every new responsibility, every slight adjustment to a task requires your direct, personal intervention. You end up spending countless hours repeating the same instructions, correcting the same mistakes, and feeling perpetually frustrated that your team isn't getting it fast enough. This isn't a reflection of your team's capability. It's a symptom of a missing, vital ingredient, a systematic approach to training. Imagine instead a world where training isn't a burden, but a smooth, well-oiled machine. This isn't a pipe dream. It's the reality when you embrace training as a system. Think of it as teaching someone to fish, rather than constantly handing them a fish yourself. When you create a system for training, you build a repeatable, documented process that empowers anyone to learn a task correctly and consistently, without needing you to be their constant shadow. This shift changes everything, moving you from being the perpetual doer and explainer to the architect of a learning environment. You're no longer just delegating tasks. You're delegating the ability to perform those tasks excellently, time and time again. The core idea behind systematic training is transforming your personal expertise into a teachable, transferable asset. It means taking all those unspoken rules, those intuitive steps you perform without thinking, and making them explicit. This isn't about dumbing down the work. It's about structuring knowledge so it's accessible and actionable for anyone joining your team. It's the difference between telling someone to make a great cup of coffee and providing a detailed, step-by-step guide on how to operate the espresso machine, measure the beans, and steam the milk to perfection. This granular approach ensures that the quality and consistency of the work don't depend on who is performing it, but on the clarity and effectiveness of the training itself. So, what does a robust training system actually look like in practice? It's far more than just a quick chat or a shadowing session. It encompasses clear, written instructions, often accompanied by visual aids like photos or videos. It includes checklists that ensure every crucial step is followed, leaving no room for guesswork or forgotten details. A good system also incorporates opportunities for practice, assessment, and feedback, allowing learners to build confidence and refine their skills. This comprehensive approach means that anyone, regardless of their prior experience, can follow the established path and achieve the desired outcome, just as you would. It's about building a reliable pathway to competence. The foundational step for any effective training system is documentation. If you can't clearly articulate how a task is done, you certainly can't teach it effectively to someone else. This is where your existing process documentation, the very systems you've been building for your daily operations, becomes your most powerful training tool. Every step, every decision point, every tool used needs to be written down in plain, unambiguous language. Think of yourself as writing a recipe, not a vague suggestion. This initial effort of externalizing your knowledge is perhaps the most challenging, but it forms the bedrock upon which all future training will stand, ensuring consistency and clarity. Once you have your documented processes, the next step is to transform them into engaging and accessible training materials. Nobody wants to read a dry, technical manual from cover to cover. Consider how people learn best. Can you create short, digestible video tutorials for complex procedures? Could simple flowcharts or infographics illustrate decision-making paths more effectively than paragraphs of text? Checklists are incredibly powerful for ensuring consistency in multi-step tasks. The goal is to break down each process into manageable, easy-to-understand chunks that new team members can absorb at their own pace, reinforcing the learning with practical exercises. Make it a user-friendly guide, not a daunting tome. Implementing systematic training starts right from day one with your onboarding process. Instead of throwing new hires into the deep end, a well-structured onboarding system provides a clear roadmap for their first days, weeks, and even months. They know exactly what to learn, where to find the information, and what milestones they need to achieve. This eliminates much of the initial anxiety and confusion, allowing new team members to feel supported and confident as they integrate into your company culture. A consistent onboarding experience ensures that everyone starts with the same foundational knowledge, setting them up for success from the very beginning. Training isn't a one-and-done event. It's an ongoing journey of development and refinement. Even seasoned team members benefit from systematic training when new tools are introduced, processes are updated, or skills need to be refreshed. A robust training system provides the framework for continuous learning, ensuring that your entire team remains up to date and highly skilled. This commitment to ongoing development not only improves performance, but also boosts employee morale and loyalty. When your team knows you're invested in their growth, they become more invested in the success of the business, creating a virtuous cycle of improvement and engagement. One of the most profound benefits of systematic training is the freedom it grants you, the business owner. No longer are you indispensable for every training session or every minor clarification. The system itself becomes the primary trainer, a reliable resource that operates even when you're not physically present. This frees up your precious time, allowing you to focus on strategic growth, innovation, and working on your business, rather than being constantly bogged down in it. Imagine being able to take a vacation, knowing that new hires are being trained effectively and consistently, without a single call or email needing your personal input. Beyond personal freedom, systematic training elevates the quality and consistency of your customer experience. When every team member follows the same proven steps, the output, whether it's a product, a service, or a customer interaction, becomes predictably excellent. This consistency builds trust and loyalty with your customers, who appreciate knowing what to expect every time they engage with your business. It removes the variability that often arises from ad hoc training, where different employees might perform the same task in slightly different ways, leading to an uneven customer journey. Your brand reputation strengthens as your consistency becomes a hallmark. This systematic approach to training is a cornerstone of building what we call a franchise prototype. Even if you never intend to franchise your business, thinking this way forces you to create a company that can truly run without you. A business with a scalable training system is inherently more valuable because its success isn't tied to one individual's presence or personal knowledge. It's a turnkey operation, capable of replicating its success regardless of who is at the helm or who is performing the tasks. This dramatically increases the attractiveness and sellability of your business, offering a clear path to a future where you can choose to step away, knowing your legacy is secure. The idea of letting go of direct control in training can feel daunting, especially if you've always prided yourself on your hands-on approach. The fear that my way is best, or that they won't care as much as I do, is a powerful psychological barrier. However, this is precisely where the power of systems comes in. A well-designed training system doesn't diminish your expertise. It amplifies it by codifying it and making it accessible to everyone. It ensures that your best way becomes the way, consistently executed by a capable team. Trusting the system allows you to extend your reach and impact far beyond what your individual efforts could ever achieve. When employees are equipped with clear, comprehensive training systems, they feel more competent, more confident, and more valued. They understand the expectations, know how to meet them, and possess the tools to succeed. This empowerment fosters a greater sense of ownership and accountability within your team. Instead of constantly asking for guidance, they can refer to the system, troubleshoot issues independently, and contribute more meaningfully to the business. This shift transforms your team from dependent followers into proactive contributors, creating a more engaged and self-sufficient workforce. Ultimately, the reward for investing in systematic training is a business that provides you with a life, not just a job. It's the ability to step back, delegate with confidence, and watch your business thrive because it's built on a foundation of repeatable excellence, not just your personal effort. You reclaim your time, reduce your stress, and unlock the true potential for growth and scalability that was previously held captive by your direct involvement. This is the freedom every entrepreneur dreams of, and systematic training is one of the most powerful keys to unlocking it. So, take a moment to reflect on your current training methods. Are they haphazard and draining, or structured and empowering? The journey to building a self-running business begins with the courage to document, systematize, and trust your team to fish effectively. Start small, pick one key task, and build its training system. You'll be amazed at how quickly this single step can transform not just that task, but your entire approach to leadership and the future trajectory of your business. It's time to stop constantly handing out fish and start building the pond, complete with clear instructions on how to cast a line. Feedback loops, keeping your team on track without micromanaging. Even with the most comprehensive training programs in place, the journey to a truly self-sufficient business doesn't end there. It merely begins a new phase. You've successfully taught your team how to fish, but now you need a way to ensure they're using the right bait, casting in the best spots, and consistently reeling in quality catches. This is where the power of effective feedback loops enters the picture, serving as the crucial bridge between initial training and sustained, high-level performance. Without them, even the most well-intentioned team can drift off course, leaving you feeling like you constantly need to jump back into the boat yourself, which defeats the entire purpose of building systems in the first place. You want your team to thrive independently, not just survive under your watchful eye, and feedback is the compass that guides them. Think of a feedback loop not as a one-time lecture or a dreaded annual review, but as a continuous, gentle current of information flowing through your business. It's about creating regular, predictable channels for employees to understand how they're doing, where they can improve, and how their efforts contribute to the larger picture. This isn't about pointing fingers or catching mistakes. It's about providing clear, actionable insights that empower individuals to self-correct and grow. When done right, feedback becomes an integral part of your operational rhythm, an expected and welcomed part of the daily work, rather than an interruptive or anxiety-inducing event. It truly becomes the circulatory system that keeps your business healthy and vibrant. Many business owners, especially those trapped in the technician's trap, struggle with feedback because they equate it with micromanaging or personal criticism. They might fear hurting feelings, or perhaps they believe that if they just trained someone well enough, feedback shouldn't even be necessary. This mindset often leads to either no feedback at all, resulting in unchecked errors, or a tendency to jump in and fix things themselves, which is the very definition of micromanaging. The key distinction lies in the source and structure of the feedback. When it's rooted in your established systems, it transforms from a personal critique into an objective assessment of adherence to a proven process. This systematic approach is what makes all the difference, shifting the focus from the individual to the method. This is precisely where your meticulously documented systems become invaluable assets in the feedback process. When you have clear written procedures for every task, feedback stops being subjective and starts being objective. Instead of telling an employee, "You're doing this wrong," you can now say, "Let's look at step 4 in the customer onboarding protocol. The system outlines X, and we observed Y. N, you helped me understand where the process diverged." This simple shift in language removes the emotional charge and positions the system itself as the impartial standard. It creates a common ground for discussion, making the conversation about process improvement, not personal failing, which is a far more productive dynamic for everyone involved. By grounding feedback in your systems, you foster a culture where discussions revolve around the what and the how, rather than the who. Employees learn to reference the documented process themselves, becoming proactive problem solvers instead of simply waiting for direction. They can identify deviations, understand their impact, and even suggest improvements to the system based on their real-world experience. This level of engagement is not only empowering for your team, but also incredibly freeing for you as the owner, as it means less direct oversight and more collaborative problem-solving. This objective framework transforms feedback into a learning opportunity, making it a tool for growth rather than a source of apprehension. Consider the franchise prototype concept we discussed earlier. A successful franchise thrives on consistency, delivering the same high-quality product or service no matter which location a customer visits. This consistency isn't magically maintained. It's the direct result of robust systems and vigilant feedback loops. Every franchisee, every manager, and every employee is held accountable to the documented standards, and feedback ensures those standards are met, adapted, and continuously refined. Your business, even if you never plan to franchise, benefits immensely from this same rigorous approach, ensuring that your customers always receive the exceptional experience you promise, regardless of who is performing the work. Without these loops, the quality will inevitably fluctuate. The critical difference between effective feedback and micromanaging lies in trust and empowerment. Micromanaging signals a lack of trust. It implies you believe your team can't perform without your constant intervention, leading to resentment and stifled initiative. System-driven feedback, however, conveys trust by assuming competence and providing the specific, objective guidance needed for continuous improvement. It says, "I trust you to do the work, and here's how we ensure the work consistently meets our high standards." This distinction is vital for fostering a positive work environment where employees feel valued and supported, not constantly scrutinized. It shifts your role from overseer to enabler, a much more sustainable and impactful position. When employees understand that feedback is about the system working optimally and not about their personal shortcomings, they become far more receptive to it. They learn to view it as a valuable resource for their own development and for the health of the business. This empowerment comes from knowing exactly what is expected because it's documented, and then receiving clear, unemotional insights into how well they are meeting those expectations. It's like having a GPS for their performance. They know the destination, the system's standard, and feedback helps them navigate any detours or missed turns. This clarity fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility, allowing them to take pride in their adherence to quality. Feedback loops don't always have to be formal sit downs. Many of the most effective insights can be shared informally and regularly. A quick, positive comment on a job well done, a brief huddle to address a minor deviation observed, or even a peer to peer check in can make a significant difference. These informal touchpoints, when consistent and aligned with your systems, reinforce desired behaviors and catch small issues before they escalate. They create an ongoing dialogue that keeps everyone aligned and engaged, ensuring that minor adjustments are made in real time. This continuous flow of information prevents small problems from festering into larger, more complex challenges. Of course, formal feedback loops still have their place and are crucial for deeper discussions and developmental planning. Regular one-on-one meetings, quarterly performance reviews, or project debriefs provide structured opportunities to review progress, discuss challenges, and set goals. The key is to ensure these formal sessions are also systemized, with clear agendas, objective criteria based on your documented processes, and a focus on forward-looking growth. They should be predictable and consistent, allowing both the manager and employee to prepare, making the conversation purposeful and productive. These structured interactions ensure that long-term development is intentionally supported. Beyond internal feedback, your customers provide one of the most vital external feedback loops for your business. How are you systematically collecting their input, analyzing it against your operational systems, and using it to refine your processes? Customer surveys, reviews, direct comments, and even complaint resolution processes are all rich sources of information that can highlight areas where your systems might be falling short or excelling. Integrating this external data into your internal feedback discussions ensures that your business remains customer-centric and continually adapts to market needs. This external validation or critique is crucial for true system optimization, ensuring that your efforts truly resonate with those you serve. Ultimately, the goal of robust feedback loops is to cultivate a culture of continuous improvement throughout your entire organization. It's not just about fixing what's broken, but about constantly seeking ways to make good even better. When feedback is embraced as a tool for growth and system refinement, your team becomes proactive innovators, always looking for efficiencies and enhancements. This dynamic environment encourages experimentation within the framework of your systems, leading to organic evolution and sustained excellence. Every single team member becomes an active participant in the ongoing quest for perfection, which drives the business forward organically. As the business owner, your role in this evolved feedback landscape shifts dramatically. You are no longer the sole dispenser of feedback, burdened with personally overseeing every detail. Instead, you become the architect of the feedback system itself. Your responsibility is to design and implement the channels, define the objective criteria, and ensure that the loops are functioning effectively. This means setting up the processes for managers to give feedback, for peers to collaborate, and for customer insights to be integrated. By building the system, you empower others to manage the daily flow, freeing yourself to focus on strategic growth and innovation. This is the true essence of working on your business. Once the feedback system is in place and clearly understood, you can confidently empower your managers to deliver the majority of the day-to-day feedback. They become the primary facilitators of continuous improvement within their teams, guided by the objective standards you've established. This delegation not only lightens your load, but also strengthens your management team, giving them greater responsibility and developing their leadership skills. They are closer to the action, making their feedback timely and relevant, further embedding the culture of accountability and excellence throughout the organization. This cascade of responsibility ensures consistency at every level. Adopting a no-blame approach is fundamental to making feedback loops effective and truly human-centric. When the discussion centers on improving the system or enhancing skills, rather than assigning fault, people are far more willing to engage openly and honestly. It creates a safe space for learning and development, where mistakes are seen as opportunities to refine processes and grow individual capabilities. This positive framing encourages transparency and collaboration, transforming what could be a tense confrontation into a constructive problem-solving session. Remember, the goal is to make the system unbreakable, not to find someone to blame. The beautiful outcome of well-implemented feedback loops is a truly self-correcting organization. Your team learns to identify issues, refer to the documented systems for solutions, and even propose improvements to those systems based on their real-world experience. This creates a powerful, iterative cycle where performance continuously improves and the business becomes more resilient and adaptable. Instead of problems consistently landing on your desk, they are often resolved at the source by the people closest to the work without your direct intervention. This autonomy is a cornerstone of a truly scalable and sustainable enterprise. This self-correction mechanism dramatically reduces the burden on you, the owner. You're no longer the bottleneck, the ultimate arbiter of every decision, or the primary troubleshooter. The business begins to run itself, guided by its internal systems and continuous feedback. This is the ultimate promise of systemization, a company that provides a life, not just a job, for everyone involved, especially for its founder. You can finally step back from the daily grind, trusting that the mechanisms are in place to maintain quality and drive progress, allowing you to breathe and focus on your entrepreneurial vision. The shift from constant personal oversight to systemic guidance is profound and transformative. It's about building an intelligent organization that learns and adapts on its own, rather than one that relies solely on your personal genius and constant presence. Your energy is redirected from micromanagement to macro architecture, from doing the work to designing the framework that allows the work to be done exceptionally well, consistently. This is the very essence of working smarter, not harder, and it's how you truly break free from the technician's trap. By mastering the art of feedback loops, you solidify the foundation of your franchise prototype, ensuring that every facet of your business operates with precision and consistency. This empowers your team, elevates customer satisfaction, and most importantly, grants you the freedom you envisioned when you first started your entrepreneurial journey. It's about creating a business that is not only successful, but also sustainable, scalable, and ultimately self-running, allowing you to reclaim your time and focus on the bigger picture of your life and your vision.